today, but we do know that he's not in a particularly good place. As you mentioned, he's reportedly split with his wife, who's a TV producer, living in southwest London, and yeah, he finds himself in a pretty tough place this morning.
The former BBC newsreader Hugh Edwards has pleaded guilty to 3 charges of making indecent images of children. He appeared at Westminster Magistrates Court this morning, charged with the offences which relate to images shared on WhatsApp between December 2020 and April 2022.
So basically, what's actually going on, what I've noticed at the moment is and by the way, there was a program on recently on the radio where a presenter, a woman, was saying that apparently more people go on pornography sites than who turn up to vote in the election. Apparently 3 times as many. So it's not a small number. It's more people. Well, it can't be 3 times as many turn out to vote because there's slightly more than half vote. But effectively, I think it was I think they said it was more people than who voted for the winning party. Basically, more people, 3 times more people than who voted for the winning party. I've actually got the video somewhere that the actual excerpt from the program. But the thing is, right, in America, I've looked up the law, and it was recent when I looked it up, and it said that it's not a criminal offence in America to possess indecent images of children, right? Or even pornographic images of children. Apparently, it's not illegal to have possession of them. We should be talking about that. No one's talking about it. Now, with the other program that I saw recently on Jimmy Dore, where this CIA agent admits to them entrapping people and just setting people up because, and basically just walk into the trap, or they know what they're likely predicting to do, or even provoking them to do it. He's admitted that openly. So they like setting people up and doing things like that. Now, I wish these main TV programs would talk about this, but they don't want to talk about this because they actually like these stories. They like people becoming victims, and they like people getting prosecuted and going to prison, basically. I think that there is an entrapment going on with people such as this. And at the moment, I mean, if you go into an extremely normal pornography site that obviously many people do, because there's like 3 times as many people than who voted for the main party who go on them, right? Or I think actually I remembered what it is now. It's more people than watch the election, right? That's what it was. So 3 times more people watch porn than who watch the election. That's what the figure was. So what the American sites are doing at the moment is it's actually not illegal for them to display or for people to possess indecent photos. If it's not illegal for them to possess them, then that's a legal loophole in America. They can have them, right? And what I think that they're doing, the Americans, particularly the CIA and FBI, I think they've got a nice cushy agreement with the British government. And what they're doing is, because it's illegal in England to even possess it, to have possession of it, what they're doing is they're fishing with these images. And what they're doing is, I'm not too quite sure how they do it, but there's clearly more Americans who are going to be in possession of them if it's not illegal, right? Obviously, having sex with a child is illegal in America, right? But the pictures aren't. Now, this is kind of ridiculous because, YouTube have got the strictest policy in the world, yet they've got the most relaxed laws over sexual content in the world. So it's kind of hypocritical. And what they're actually doing is they are either the webmasters or the porn people are more loose with it in America, or there is some CIA people who are either setting up fake, they're setting up their own kind of mock porn sites or mirroring things or using socks or whatever to get adverts or content in there, and they're hoping people start clicking on it. Now, so what I think they're doing to the English people is that they're fishing. They're fishing for people who are going to click it. But the thing is, if it appears on your screen and you didn't type it in, there's actually nothing you can do about it. And sometimes it records or saves images in your cache on your phone. So everything that's loaded in the screen might be cached for a certain amount of time until it deletes it. But even when you delete it, apparently you can recover files. So what it's doing is it's almost like illegal speed signs. Illegal speed signs are setting people up to get caught. If they're really fishing with it in not a good way. And they might say, "Well, we're going to, see who gives it a sniff, see who's interested." That's the wrong way to live life. It's the wrong way to do society. Why not just not have it at all? Why just not have it on there? But the police, particularly the CIA, they're nasty. They're nasty, horrible people. I mean, I've just been watching this Robert F. Kennedy Jr. video that's just been on of this lawyer who stood up against the big oil companies, and even the court, they went after him, tried to ruin his life. The CIA and the FBI are quite vindictive, really, predatory. I would say predatory, ruthless, predatory. I would say completely, totally corrupted, really. And the fact that YouTube's American is even worse. When they've got more. What America have done, YouTube have got really ridiculous rules for content. They've got yoga, stretching, ASMR. Even Gail Bradbrook on Extinction Rebellion has got naked protesters. Breastfeeding. They've got all this content on there, and a lot of it is used for sexual purposes, but they're saying that you can't use it for sexual purposes, and people are getting their channels taken down and banned on YouTube, but when they haven't even broke the law. And America's meant to have the most relaxed laws, but it's got the strictest policy on YouTube, which is totally the opposite. But worse is the porn sites. Porn sites are so terrible now that it's difficult to actually be. I mean, if you have to sometimes move the browser window out of the screen, like position the internet browser off the edge of your computer screen so you don't have to look at some of the stuff that's quite disturbing, upsetting. They're really trying to pervert your mind with a lot of the really odd, weird, strange stuff they're trying to get people into, which I really find disturbing now. And some of these webmasters are just... I mean, I wish Anonymous group would shut them down, or this scammer payback would just shut them all down. The CIA and police could have got rid of a lot of it. I found that a lot of the porn stars as well, some of them are very attractive in the career. They start out attractive and they end up perverting their bodies, or there's nothing wrong with their body at all, and then they end up getting boob jobs when they don't need them, or various other modifications when they don't need them, or end up with tattoos and stuff. I think there's a lot of jealousy in the porn industry, and I think that the human resentment, and they kind of get people who pretend they're their friends to do things which actually spoils them or messes them up. And really they say, some of them who necessarily aren't as fit or aren't as attractive when they start out, they get fake stuff, and then they will probably be jealous of the people who've got natural stuff and it's not fake, and then they probably there's a weird thing going on with it. These are the problems that Keir Starmer would love to address. This is the stuff that Sadiq Khan's sitting down with government officials, saying, we're geniuses, we're going to solve all the problems in society. Khan couldn't sort out a yellow paper clip from a green paper clip in a jar of paper clips, right? Khan is already broken the law in the Liberty of London and the congestion charge that Tony Blair put in. They've gone against the judge's oath. We need to get... Some of these people are dangerous in government, and we need to get them out. And what we need to get into government are people who understand the complex psychological problems in society and the feedback loops between rich and poor, all the different types of persons, racial issues, many that Khan's got himself. He's attacking this country, Sadiq Khan. You need someone like Chris Eubank in the Mayor of London, not Khan, because Khan's he's a predatorial man who's attacking the nation's rights, privileges, and interests. We need people who understand the dynamics behind a lot of these ideological and psychological cause and effect, not the Samaritans or Mark Zuckerberg's experts, the leading Google experts. What they'll say is that, this is the solution to it. We're trying to, we're just toying around with everyone, running some experiments, doing this or that. And by the time you're finished, everyone's spoiled, everyone's fucked up, and they made the problem 10 times worse. Zuckerberg needs to be kept away from a computer and a bank account. With him and his experts, they've solved no problems. In fact, they've made everyone block and ban each other to Kingdom Come, where now nobody wants to tolerate each other for more than 10 minutes, and the Public Meeting Act's been broken. Mark Zuckerberg, he's not fit for purpose. He thinks he is because he's made a lot of money. He thinks that he's done us all a favour. He hasn't done anyone a favour. Zuckerberg is dangerous. We need people. We don't need these new university graduate Americans with their models and programs, experimenting, fishing around, toying, basically, poking around in your brain with all these things popping up on the screen, see if you like it or not. By the time they've finished, you've been scarred. These people need to be controlled and stopped. They're not. It's actually like COVID was experimental, and after they finished with COVID, there was more harm, right? Google currently and Zuckerberg are experimenting around pretty much like COVID were doing, but they think that they're the absolute geniuses of planet Earth when they're the fuck ups. They've absolutely fucked it, big style. And we need to stop them. And as for YouTube, I actually did a video, cartoon by the way, not involving any real persons or no actual existing person that exists in real life, right? I got a cartoon and I did this edit as anti-child porn video, anti-child porn in opposition, to Americans basically having this law where you're allowed to possess it, right? Which could not possibly be illegal because there had to be a real person in it, right? And that video never got flagged and it never got removed, right? But later on, I uploaded a quite innocent dancing video with 7 naked women, which I did not publish it. I put it just to store on there. I was going to edit it, right, into a political video. And that's the one that got my channel taken down that they said was severe, but it's never seen severe. Because to be severe, it has to have harmful, dangerous, violent acts in it. So therefore, if you've got someone dancing caringly or just, without even an opposite sex person in the video, how can it be serious? And this is YouTube as well. And I'm actually getting punished for that and having my channel taken away and all my other political material, which is all protected. Fair enough, if it had given me a strike, it gave me a strike until I appealed it. And then after I appealed it, they took my channel down. So, when I'm actually opposing the American law, in fact, it was ironic because I was actually, in a way, that cartoon edit, which I only slightly modified, that actually really points a finger at YouTube because they're the one with the tightest policy ever on the face of the planet, but in the country that's got the most relaxed laws and causing all the problems, because they're causing the content to get on the internet and pop up in other countries where it's illegal, and the FBI can bust. The FBI doing a handshake with the American, with the FBI doing a handshake with the English government and catching loads of people out. You won't get this guy talking about it here in this pink shirt. All he wants to do is, you say, as it's been reported, he doesn't want to exercise his brain. He don't want to explore, why these laws in America causing problems in England. And another thing is, the problem with a lot of these fantasies and fetishes is that it's all ideological in the imagination, and then people end up going and exploring fantasies and avenues that they wouldn't have thought of before, and it perverts you into courses of action which aren't normal. And this is the problem with Ben Bradshaw, the ex-BBC award-winning presenter who ends up being an MP in Parliament for Labour, and he wants to get people, he's trying to provoke children to be learning about sex at schools, when they've banned people from, hanging around outside schools talking about sex, but he wants to teach them in it. And then Ben Bradshaw's a guy who's a David Bowie fanatic. He's obsessed with David Bowie. And he wants to get kids into anal sex. He wants to loosen up their assholes and basically lube them up. Ben Bradshaw is a type of webmaster who pops up all these, weird sex toys that get your teenagers into exploring their arsehole. It's not meant to be, pooped out of, but for sex, which could be really damaging when you're young. So, Ben Bradshaw, as far as I'm concerned, is an extremely dangerous man. He probably should be... I'd restrip his knighthood from him straight away, and he wouldn't be set foot in Parliament again, like they did with, the Speaker, Bercow. Bradshaw would never step foot in Parliament again. He wants to try and get young children in anal sex, which means experimenting on themselves with weird sex toys out of the place that you're meant to go to the toilet with. So, he's got a problem as Ben Bradshaw. He's got psychological problems. He's a David Bowie obsessed he's been obsessed with celebrities. He's a celebrity. And no one is talking about why is nobody on main channels talking about, right, American law having it legal to possess pictures of children having sex, right? How do they end up on people's fucking computers? Where the fuck do you think they come from? Iceland? They come from America, from webmasters. They're trying to pervert people's minds, right? And if you just even go on a normal porn site now, you can't get away from it. We're being set up by the American CIA and FBI. There's no doubt about it. And the fact that they're actually putting people in prison, Bradshaw's trying to get, a TARDIS up your kid's arsehole, Bradshaw needs to be in prison with Belfield, with Alex Belfield, There's something wrong with Bradshaw. He's got problems. He's probably in love with David Bowie. I would probably suspect if you went to Bradshaw's house now, before he disposes of it, he's probably got David Bowie albums and posters. I wouldn't be surprised if he's probably cracked off to Bowie a few times. So, this is my opinion. I'm not saying that's true or not, but it's likely, So, guys like this, sports announcer guy, why is he not talking about this American problem? Why is he not talking about, these American issues that they're actually designing it? And this is the thing with the whole, body modifications. This government now, they've loosened and freed everything up. And Zuckerberg wants to take it to the next level in this metaverse where anything you can imagine can be possible, right? But then to kind of indulge in it, that is going to loosen up the brain bolts until they've come off, and not come back on again. And then we're being blamed for strange behaviours and so forth. I mean, no one's saying that we all have to be like some kind of 1950s black and white film, set in stone, defined with no change or imagination. But there's the thing with ideas in the mind is sometimes there are some really, really bad ideas, and this government seem to be, they're not ahead of the game in curbing bad ideas. In fact, with this opening of the Olympics thing, I've just noticed Galloway's video popped up as well at the top of my screen a minute ago. I must have uploaded a new video, although it will have been a day ago or something. When I end up looking at it, it's like that opening of the Olympics. It's this Eurovision kind of, Jean-Paul Gaultier free and easy thing. There's nothing wrong with being liberal, but it's perverting the course of mankind now. I mean, just look at the food. The thing is, it's not just the sex. It is the whole thing. The food, the cream buns, the cakes. I've just been watching. I mean, I was sat. I've got a new book actually. I was reading it earlier, and then I heard the TV, and then I heard talking about temperatures and thermometers, and it was Dermot O'Leary, right? And he's with this chef, and they're cooking again. Cream cooking. Constantly cook. People. When people are hungry, right, then they'll go get something to eat, right? But these people are feeding them food all the time. It doesn't matter whether it's porn or whether it's food or whatever it is. They're overloading on everything, and it really, television is like, so like, if you're in these, look, when you're hungry, you go somewhere to get some food, right? It doesn't matter whether you go picking strawberries, right? When you want to eat something, right? Or you can go to the fridge, or you can go to a strawberry picking field, right? But you don't swim in strawberries, right? You don't you don't live in food. You don't live in food. I mean, you don't live in a pie. It's like James and the Giant Peach. You don't. So when you're immersed and surrounded in food all the time, you're going to eat it. This is like, a lot of these people who work at McDonald's, and KFC, that not all of them, but a lot of them, are people who work in sandwich shops, they eat, people eat. When these porn stars surround themselves with porn all the time, it becomes normal and boring, and then they're having to constantly tweak it all the time, and then you've perverted it by the time you've finished, when it was, perfectly normal or all right. If someone is, if a certain woman, it's making her upset, because there's something wrong with her body, fair enough. But these people end up competing, and they get in this feedback loop of either envy and other emotions, which end up being hidden motives, and it end up self-harming each other and getting into weird circles. And the thing is that is the case not only for porn, sex, not only for food and eating, but for socializing. Now, TV really is social porn, because the applause is like fake eyelashes, right? And when them saying, "Oh, smile, be nice, everything's okay," Dermot O'Leary, he's trying to. The thing with TV is it's not real, right? Some of it's real, some sex in porn is real sex, but some of it's not real and fake, and it's so on TV. Really, it's made up to look like everyone's getting on with each other. Everyone likes each other, and if you behave and act like this, that's going to happen to you. But it doesn't. You can go into a shop and be all smiley and happy, and they might just, not be nice. Or, you want to go to an exhibition and enter, and they might not have you. On TV, it's like, oh yeah, we went here, we got this guest on, they did a talk on this, they did a talk on that. What's happening is people are messaging people, contacting people, they're not interested, right? How the fuck did the BBC get the guest on, right? They phoned about 8 people, got the one who said yeah, made it look like, you ring them up first time, oh yeah, of course I'll help you, come on the show, we'll talk about a vase, and then we went with Sarah to buy a new house, and then we'll do your garden up. Everything runs like clockwork and is smooth. And it's like on social media, people only showing the highlights of, and everyone's thinking everyone's lives better. And that's the major mistake that the main stations are doing. And they think that, if we beat, we'll be the models for it, and they're all copy offers, right? But it's not going to happen. And they've had a chance to do the Smiley game show host, right, from all through the 50s, 60s and 70s, 80s, 90s, and now we're in the 2000s. They've smiled through the teeth. They said, come on down, the price is right. They've had every Tom, Dick and Harry guest on, Strictly Come Dancing, the whole thing, get Jules Holland's Perfect People, audiencing Hootenanny, so, Billy No Mates can have a good New Year's Eve in his front room by himself because he hasn't got any mates. He can watch Jules Holland do it all for him, And what's happened? Have they copied off the model? No. Is crime better now or worse? Worse. Everyone treating each other nicer? No. Is everyone saying, yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir, let's get along like an house on fire, sir? No. They're blocking and banning each other because they haven't got 5 minutes for them. Right? So, it's a fail. And the thing with Dermot O'Leary, and every single Jeremy Vine, every single TV presenter, every producer, is they are a failure, and they're pretending that they are they're winning. We're doing great. Look, get Sakir Starmer on. We are doing fantastic. We couldn't be better. We are the love and the light of the world. If you're watching Jeremy Vine or Dermot Leary, there's something wrong with you, not them, right? But is their model, has it made everyone be nice to each other and kind? No, it's got worse. So it hasn't worked, and it's not working. So why are they still pretending? Now the Olympics, now we can win some medals. In the same with sport, everything's quite normal here. Just go down the darts club and comment on a snooker match. Everything's normal. So right, and this is the thing with the stadium, you just come into the stadium, pay money, cheer your team, so right, here's Beckham, give him £20 million, 30, 40, 50, so if you do well, you could be like David, and we don't criticise David for having 50 billion for kicking a ball or having Chanel adverts or whatever. We don't criticise him, we admire him, and that's the model. Be like that, have more than everyone else, be in excess. This is the problem, and I don't know what it's going to take. People have woke up. There are, hundreds of thousands of people on Facebook now. There were, Facebook groups, waking up like there's no tomorrow now, saying, we've had enough. When will these presenters, because even you get Claire Farrell going on there now and having it out with them, when will these presenters, when will even their amoeba brains be able to even conceive of the possibility, the chance, even the thought pass through like a cloud float over? Is it possible that they might be wrong and their show might not be that good, or it might not be doing that good to society, like Alan Titchmarsh with his Perfect Christmas, Rumpole of the Bailey sweater and candles, scented candles and a roast pork dinner, because even Alan Titchmarsh could be perverted, Can they possibly consider that they might be wrong? And no matter how many camera lights they've got and how many staff they've got in the studio or how many guests they get clapping, it's not actually helping society at large. It's actually causing problems. But, they're all right, Jack. So You know, we're all right. We're getting on. We're happy. And the fans, the viewers who pick the phone up and ring in, you know, hi, Philip Schofield. No, Philip Schofield. 3 bags full, Philip Schofield. Spin the wheel, Philip Schofield. Win the money. Go on holiday. Let's get the fuck out of this place. You know, can't stand to be here. Let's get to Mallorca. You know, this is the thing. When will the presenters have the thought form, if it's possible, in the mind of a TV producer or presenter, you know, even Professor Tim Wilson, you know, the possibility that they are causing harm, and if they cared about the people they're causing harm to, right, the ones that are making depressed and drop out, rather than saying, oh, you know, there's a stabbing, there's something wrong, there must be something wrong with them. There must be something wrong with them. Could they possibly conceive that their custard cream smile is not that good after they've wiped it off their face and shit it back out again and it's put 5 stone on them, right? Could they conceive that they might not be doing things right, that they might be in excess, like Michael Hutchins, in excess? This is the problem. Not that you shouldn't go on TV or whatever, because if you don't speak, no one's going to hear you. But, you know, they're all the time, they're provocateurs, you know, luring, just like those child porn people fishing to see if they pick up on it. It's social porn. It's social pornography, and it's become perverted, and, you know, people should be living a real life, and we need to find some kind of status quo where we can allow freedom, but it doesn't have to be law. You don't have to prosecute them or whatever. I mean, if someone just told them, but you see, their shows aren't allowed to down that line of inquiry. You can't criticise the show, you know. Don't criticise whether or not we should have this show or not, or what, you know. This is the thing, you know. This is what, you know, people, even Claire Farrell's falling into it, you know. She thinks she can do some good if she appears on TV and tells people about the environment or whatever, you know. This is what they need. You know, they need telling. And, you know, someone needs to get the model out for it and try get the message through. You know, it's a kind of do as I say, you know, do as I say, as I do thing, isn't it? They think that, you know, it's like Dermot O'Leary. You know, I'm not knocking him, not saying I don't like him, but he thinks that if he smiles and everyone else smiles, then we're all smiling. Hey, Dermot, we're all smiling. No, it can't be bad, can it? Can't be bad, Dermot. You know, we're all smiling, we're all baking cookies, and the world's a lot better now as long as I hold my smile, you know. But then they get to the streets, and the hard reality is that it isn't all right. But we're trying to make the world a better place. Well, you've had the last 50 years. And it's got worse, Dermot. So that's a big F, failure. You didn't pass the exam. You failed, right? I'm sorry, it's not going to be all smiles and, you know, university graduation certificates. You failed. And you're carrying on smiling. Oh, it's all right, I failed. It's all right, we don't do any bad. No cussing round here. No cussing round here. You know, be nice to each other, spread love. You know, and in the end, the love you make, the cream buns you make are equal to your weight. You know, step on the scales, you know, and in the end, the cream buns you bake are equal to the weight you know, equal to the happiness you fake. This is it. Someone they need a slap around the face. You know, but who's going to do it? It's these producer. I've got a wacky, crazy show. I've done this before. You know, wacky, new crazy producer. You know, and now they're remaking the Time Bandits even. You know, where are these producers? Where are these? You know, we'll see the credits at the end. You know, executive producer, costume artist, makeup artist. At the end of the thing, you know, who are these people? You know, build a movie set. You know, this is it. If if the money from every Hollywood film had have actually been spent on the working class, making their immediate living space nicer, getting rid of the mould, maybe even having people go around by the council doing their gardens up for them if they're lazy buggers, something. All the money that they've spent on Hollywood movies actually could have made real life into, the utopia. And it wouldn't actually be bad. It would be good, actually, in real life. But instead, they spend, billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions on movies and films, even trillions, and to entertain people so they can get out of life into this pretend, movie, and then go back home when it's, not as quite happy as they expected, And this is the problem with TV and all these sets, rather than, it's all right, but if we all do what Dermot says, follow Dermot's instructions, and you will have the perfect dream life, follow, he's Blue Peter, he's one I made earlier, look, just, here we go, so you have to make a perfect life, there we go. Well, where are all these perfect lives? Apparently it's getting worse now. But not according to Starmer, because we've got a new middle class coming up now, out with the old and in with the new. So it's something needs to be done. But it's shows like this that get me. They're not even on the right page. They're talking about guys who are watching, child content or whatever, but they're not even on the right page of where the problem's coming from or what the problem is. And in fact, there are people out there trying to make the problem worse. They're not even on the page. It's these people, like this guy here. He's like commentating on snooker, but he might be a good snooker commentator, but he can't really play snooker. So it's like having a commentator on something, but they don't actually really know what the fuck it is they're talking about, or about what they should be talking about. That's the problem.